Om. Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Gurudev. So we'll continue the shloka number 18, 19. So knowledge destroys all karmas. Yesterday we saw the different karmas, Sanchita, Agami, Prarabdha, and how the cycle of samsara goes on as long as there is the kartritva. Whereas, I'll just read this term deposit karmas one more time. Yeah, karma never returns for the wise person. But you may ask, will the karmas return? Karma for a wise person is destroyed by knowledge. The desire and will of a wise person is like a seed that has been roasted, dagda bijavat, and therefore cannot germinate and bear fruit. Dagda bija, a roasted seed, is a particular expression used here for the purpose of analysis. If seeds are sown, they are capable of producing results, whereas if they are roasted, they are good only for the enjoyment of those who eat them. They cannot be used for cultivation because they are no longer capable of germinating. Similarly, all the karmas of a wise person are only for enjoyment, bhogartha, in the sense of karma phala bhoga, enjoying the results of action. The prarabdha karma the person came with has to run its course, and therefore any karma he or she does Knowing the Atma is Akarta is only bhoga, experience, the exhaustion of prarabdha karma alone. The person's actions cannot produce anything because he or she is Akarta. Such a person is called a Pandita, wise, and a Jnana Agni Dagdha Karma. Jnana Agni Dagdha Karma is therefore another compound describing the wise person. This fire of knowledge, Jnana Agni, burns up all the person's karmas. Therefore, the person is called Jnana Agni Dagdha Karma, one whose karmas have been destroyed by knowledge. Karma never returns for the wise person. But you may ask, will the karmas return? The destruction of karma referred to here is not like what happens when a tree is cut down and grows back again from the roots. The karmas are destroyed totally. They have no more existence whatsoever. They are burned to ashes, as it were. As long as a person has not understood that Atma is Akarta, then there is a Jiva who is a Karta. And ignorance being its cause, the Jiva has no beginning. In other words, because ignorance is not something that was created, the Jiva is also not created at a given time. Anything that is not created cannot have a beginning. All creation is only in terms of one's body, mind, sense complex and the world in which one lives. The uncreated self and the creation. Consciousness is also not something that is created. Therefore, consciousness being Atma, the Lord did not create Atma, the self. He created only those objects that we call bodies, along with various other forms. And this he did according to laws. What we call the creation is for the Jiva, whereas the Jiva, who in reality is none other than Atma, is not created. In the creation, there is one thing that is not created, the consciousness, that is Atma. Everything else, which we call creation, has been created due to the Jiva's karma alone. So he only created the bodies and the other objects. Jiva is not created. Because Jiva is none other than the Atma. So consciousness is not created. Consciousness is what is. Consciousness is everything else which we call creation has been created due to the Jiva's karma alone. And why this karma? Because the Jiva is a karta. Why is the Jiva a karta? Because of ajnana, ignorance. When did this ignorance begin? Ignorance is anadi, meaning that it has no beginning whatsoever. From the standpoint of Jiva, there is an account, a kafala, or been gathered by the Jiva over countless number of births, whose beginning cannot be established. Therefore, these births can also be considered to be infinite in number. And in infinite number of births, in different periods of time, an infinite number of karmas have been collected. Being so numerous, these karmas cannot fulfill themselves in one physical body at a given time and place. Only one set of karmas can be exhausted in a given incarnation. Thus, in this particular incarnation, I can exhaust a certain set of karmas and the rest remain in my account for future incarnations. Some of the karmas in this set can be exhausted only when you are born in India, and others can be exhausted only when you happen to be in the USA. Term opposite karmas. Even though this particular set of karmas is being exhausted in a given incarnation, there are still infinite karmas in your account waiting to be exhausted. Are called the karmas that cannot be exhausted in this particular body. Also, while exhausting karmas in this incarnation, I gather new karmas as long as I enjoy the status of doership, kartritva. These are called kriyamana karma or agami karma, karma that is being gathered now in this lifetime. Agami karma means futuristic karma. You gather new punya and papa because you enjoy a free will, and these new karmas join all the others that have accumulated in your account. Because all the punya papa that you gathered is lodged in one general account, you cannot say that this life is due to your immediate past. You can say is that it is due to the past. The punya papa is all credited to this general account from which certain karmas precipitate, and from there again another set of karmas precipitate. Therefore, a particular incarnation can be the result of karmas collected in the previous birth plus those you collected from 1,000 births previously. Since all types of karmas can join together, any of them can join together, giving you another lease. The set of karmas that began to fructify from the moment this physical body was conceived is called prarabdha karma. Karma that has already begun, arabdha. These then are the three types of karma: sanchita, agami, and prarabdha. General as ma. Knowledge destroys all karma. For the person who is able to recognize the self as akarta, there is no longer any doership kartritva. And since there is no kartritva, all the karmas standing in his or her name are burnt up, dagda, by the fire of knowledge, jnana agni. Whereas, if this knowledge is not there, there is no end to the number of births and the gathering of karmas. This is why samsara is said to be endless. Thus, there is only one
Jai Gurudev, your voice is breaking.
that destroys all the karmas. Yeah?
Voice is
Anything?
breaking. Voice is breaking.
Voice is breaking, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Is it only now or has it been there from the beginning?
No, not beginning, in between.
Okay, let me see. My internet says it's. Knowledge destroys all karmas. For the person who is able to recognize the self as akarta, there is no longer any doership kartritva. And since there is no kartritva, all the karmas standing in his or her name are burnt up, dagda, by the fire of knowledge, agni. Jnana Agni. Whereas, if this knowledge is not there, there is no end to the number of births and the gathering of karmas. This is why samsara is said to be endless. Is it okay now?
Yes, very clear.
It's
No
okay?
problem. Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Thus, there is only one way out, by the fire of knowledge that destroys all the karmas. They are all destroyed because there is no karta. All the sanchita karma standing in the general account, any agami karma that he or she reaps in this life, are all totally destroyed. Punya and papa will no longer come to the person because there is no kartritva in terms of knowledge. Therefore, he or she is called a jivan jnana agni dagda karma here. From the standpoint of Atma, one is free of prarabdha karma also. Prarabdha is only from the point of view of the physical body, mind, and senses. Because the person is still here, still seen, we say there is prarabdha karma. But we cannot say that Atma is suffering due to prarabdha. The person has destroyed all karmas by the fire of knowledge and is therefore wise, Pandita. He or she now is now a free person called Jivan Mukta. The word Jivan means while living, and the word Mukta means liberated. This person is liberated right now while living and not later after death. Therefore, he or she is called Jivan Mukta. The Jnani and Karma. Given this understanding, then, can a Jnani be defined in terms of whether or not he or she performs karma? It all depends on the person's prarabdha. Based on his or her prarabdha, the Jnani has to undergo certain experiences. This is why you will find varieties of Jnanis. There may be grahastas, married people with children. They may also be doing business or ruling a country like King Janaka. A Jnani can be doing anything or give up everything to take to the lifestyle of sannyasa. As long as a Jnani is a grahastha, there are karmas to be done. He cannot simply say, I'm a Jnani and avoid what he has to do. He has to continue to do the rituals that grahasthas are enjoined to do. But even though the Jnani performs these rituals, it is not karma because the person knows the Atma to be akarta. At the same time, a Jnani does not want to set a wrong example for the people. And so, as a grahastha, he or she will perform karma. Nor does the person lose anything by doing it. Thus, a Jnani performing action is not a problem. This is exactly what Arjuna had in mind. He had this question and he said, Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. How does a person, enlightened person, speak, talk, walk, eat? So there is no, there's so Jnani
In Jnani
performing.
also, in
Yeah,
Jnani also there is no kartutva.
yeah,
Means that
that is why
karta.
he is Jnani, right?
But he is doing all the worldly things for his whatever is the duty. So that will accrue the karma, papa, punya for him, no? Papa, punya for him.
No, that is what we read, no? For a
Mm.
Jnani, as long as that he is coming from the space of akartritva. So there is, as long as there is akarta bhav, no non-doership, there is no papa punya, no more account. karma phala getting into his account.
So Jnani is also Jivan Mukta?
Jnani
But
is Jivan Mukta.
Mukta. Okay. But different types of Jnana. Okay. Which are worldly
But
things
based on their
doing.
prarabdha, based
Hmm.
on their prarabdha with which they're born, each Jivan Mukta will have his or her things to do. He may be, based on prarabdha, be a grahastha. He may be a king like King Janaka. Not everybody, based on their prarabdha, they have to continue doing whatever they were doing till that prarabdha is exhausted. So, therefore, for the jnani, there is no kama or sankalpa in action. He or she does not say, I am going to accomplish this or that so that I can be that. Therefore, the person may do anything. He or she may act out the drama, play the role, and play it well. Or the person may see the drama and its roles as useless. Naturally so, because there is uselessness everywhere, and take to sannyasa. Even as a sannyasi, the person may or may not do karma. He or she may or may not teach. The sannyasi may be a Mauni Baba and not teach, or he or she may teach. If a sannyasi teaches, the teaching may be done in a simple manner or in a highly organized manner. It all depends upon the prarabdha of the sannyasi. All those sannyasis who've taken sannyasa as a lifestyle for the sake of gaining the knowledge have only one role to play. They are completely freed from all obligations, except those attached to their role as a student. Then, when a mumukshu gains jnana, he or she will continue to live a life of sannyasa. Atma is one and the same, but because of prarabdha, there are many kinds of jnanis, more of which we shall see in the next few verses. So I will read these last few paras one more time. See, knowledge destroys all karmas. For the person, let me know if uh, is the voice okay or is it
Yes, yes, it's very clear. There is no.
tracking? It's okay. For the person who's able to recognize the self as akarta, there is no longer any doership kartritva. And since there is no kartritva, all the karmas standing in his or her name are burnt up, dagda, by the fire of knowledge, jnana agni. Whereas, if this knowledge is not there, there is no end to the number of births and the gathering of karmas. This is why samsara is said to be endless. Thus, there is only one way out, by the fire of knowledge that destroys all the karmas. They are all destroyed because there is no karta. All the sanchita karmas standing in the general account, any agami karma that he or she reaps in this life are all totally destroyed. Punya and papa will no longer come to the person because there is no kartritva in terms of knowledge. Therefore, he or she is called jnana agni dagda karma. From the standpoint of Atma, one is free of prarabdha karma also. See, from the standpoint of Atma, one is free of prarabdha. But this person still has the body, mind, sense complex. From that standpoint, he has to exhaust the prarabdha. Prarabdha is only from the point of view of the physical body, mind, and senses. Because the person is still here, still seen, we say there is prarabdha karma. But we cannot say that Atma is suffering due to prarabdha. He is not suffering. He may be going through pain, like what Ramana Maharshi went through, like what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa went through. They went through a lot of physical pain, but they did not suffer. That pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional, and that they did not suffered at all because they're coming from the akatritva space. The person has destroyed all karmas by the fire of knowledge and is therefore wise, pandita. He or she is now a free person called Jivan Mukta. The word Jivan means while living, and the word Mukta means liberated. This person is liberated right now while living and not later after death. Therefore, he or she is called Jivan Mukta. The Jnani and Karma. Given this understanding, then, can a Jnani be defined in terms of whether or not he or she performs karma? We cannot define, right? So, Jnani can still perform some action. It all depends on the person's prarabdha. So, whether or not a Jnani performs an action, what action he performs, all depends upon his prarabdha. Based on his or her prarabdha, the Jnani has to undergo certain experiences. This is why you will find varieties of Jnanis. It's not like a Jivan Mukta. Once he becomes a Jivan Mukta, becomes like a flame of light and then that disappears. No. He has to exhaust the prarabdha karma that he is born with. See, to get to the jnana, what has the jnani? Jnani before becoming a jnani was what? A mumukshu, right? The mumukshu has used his free will to the utmost in order to gain this knowledge. But once knowledge is gained, there is no role for any free will. There's no need for, there is no will required. So therefore, his actions are all just purely based on the prarabdha. So one might argue and say, oh, it was his prarabdha to get moksha. That's debatable. But if a person uses his free will, despite what is meant in his prarabdha, he can still attain knowledge. I don't know whether this statement is right or wrong, but it's debatable which comes where, what acts more, prarabdha or free will. We might say, oh, this person's birth chart says that it's his sin prarabdha to become a sannyasi or to become a jnani. I'm not sure about that. But
No,
for certain,
Gurudev, Prarabdha may be the driving force, propelling force for him to, decide. Maybe that's what.
huh?
Prarabdha may be the propelling force for him to decide which direction to go.
Because see, in the 6th chapter, Krishna says, no, he says, what if, when Arjuna asks, what if a person dies without, leaves the physical body, without gaining moksha, then what does Krishna say? He picks up, he will be born in a place that is conducive for his evolution, further evolution. So certainly what is done in this life will affect our future births.
Correct. See
But
that.
in this particular birth, using the free will counters prarabdha, right? See, free will is the one that gives us the ability to take pain as pain and not as suffering. If that free will was not there, you would suffer the pain as well. But using free will, you can say, okay, I'm going through this pain. This pain is my prarabdha, but I will not suffer. But there may be another person. This is one person. One mumukshu takes this stand. Another person who does not use his free will suffer the pain. He will go through the pain and he will also suffer the pain. He goes on saying, oh, poor me all the time. So free will has a very important role, which is why Gurudev says, look at all the past as destiny and the future as free will. What I can do, what I will do, what I can do and what I will do right now and in the future is my free will. I can choose to live a life of enjoyment, of passion, or I can choose to live a life of discipline, of commitment to this knowledge. So that is my free will. And to what extent I develop my free will be my purushartha. The fools are those that think, oh, my future is prarabdha. What will happen in future is my prarabdha, which is true to a certain extent, no doubt. But your free will can decide which path you take, which way you go.
Prarabdha is so strong that, it will propel you to take that decision. That also can happen here.
Correct. Sometimes the force of the prarabdha itself.
And even that grace will work. That 6 types of grace will be there. Ishvara Krupa and Atma Krupa and
Correct.
all.
That is where prayer comes in. No? When everything else you've done doesn't work, then that is when prayer comes in. And that prayer also is you take a decision to pray. Even that wanting to pray also. Now it's a mixture of actually prarabdha and free will. If you see every aspect, you cannot tease it out and say, okay, this is prarabdha and this is free will. I think they go hand in hand. I mean, this is one of the intriguing aspects of life. Can you draw a line and say, okay, this is prarabdha and this is because of your free will? That is a eternal question, I suppose.
It's a big mystery, actually.
I think we just have to wonder at that, no? Because some people, I think we've also had this discussion in the past. We can say it's our prarabdha to be doing this Gita Manana. So is it prarabdha or is it our individual free will?
Absolutely prarabdha, 90%.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a question again. It's a debatable question. How much prarabdha, how much free will? But having known this, that is what Gurudev says. He says, getting to know that this is what the path is, still going back and doing foolish things, that is stupidity.
Very nice. And also, if that strong prarabdha is not there, this free will, it will come for some extent, it will come and then it will fizzle out. They will not be interested in Gita knowledge, they'll take it for granted, or, they'll not be that committed. Such things will happen. Whereas if strong this thing is there, it bolsters your free will.
Anyway, it is all about our choices that we make. It's a choice. Every moment is a choice. You can live choice. See, even this choice is also of course, exercising your free will. But there are some who say live choicelessly, live life choicelessly. Just go with the flow. But these are all to be taken with respect to the context in which it was said. You cannot just off-quote them. For example, Arjuna had a choice of standing and fighting or going to Rishikesh. Krishna had to tell him, listen, this is your karma, this is your duty, you have to do this. So that way, when you look at it, you're living a choiceless life because you're just fulfilling the role that you have been given, either as a Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra.
See, that's what in Ashtavakra also, Gurudev says, you have to become a doctor. It's not that your free will that you became.
Right. Choice is about free will, and choicelessness, being in that, accepting that choicelessness is accepting your prarabdha. So it's a combination of both, exercising your choice as well as going with the flow. See, I can decide to live life of awareness. That is my purushartha. That is the free will I'm exercising. Doing daily sadhana now. Can we say everyday sadhana that we do, is it free will or prarabdha? You're getting up at a particular time, not shutting off the alarm. Is it free will or prarabdha? It's a big debate, right? So, which is what? So there is an element of free will entwined in our actions. If it is like, which will take precedence? And you require the free will to do good things and to do bad things also. A terrorist, for example, is he governed only by his prarabdha, or is he exercising his free will as well? This is an interesting.
If it is only free will, in the horoscope and all, some people they read so perfectly all this, patras and how they are able to infer. So there's something, something is going on.
The whole of Jyotisha is nothing but laying out your prarabdha out there. It doesn't talk of free will. The Jyotisha chart, it only lays out your prarabdha karma to the minutest aspect. And it is our own blueprint that are being translated by all the grahas and the planets and the celestial bodies out there. Each individual's prarabdha, each individual's blueprint is laid by him or her.
Yes.
But how you rewrite this blueprint, that is the free will.
The blueprint takes you to rewrite, in its favor.
Jai Gurudev, the element of grace is also very important here. If there is a grace, especially the grace of divine Atma Krupa, then the decisions what you take, they will lead to that moksha or freedom from the bondages. I believe the grace is very, very important. I have seen the role of grace in my own parents or my in-laws, especially the guru's grace. It plays very, very important role. I have seen with my own eyes. So for me, it is not just the free will or the prarabdha, it is the grace. I have too much faith. If there is a grace, then nothing can shake you. And the decisions what you take, that also will be diverted, converted to the whatever decisions you have taken, they will turn in favor of the welfare of everybody. Jai Gurudev.
The grace also will happen only if you have sustained effort, if you put into this path, you know. If you don't have that determination to be in this, grace will not work also. You know.
Grace, correct, correct. Please continue, Alpiji.
That's what, you know.
Grace is
Then small
nothing but
child, how they become enlightened. They became enlightened. There is no jnana, as though they were not following any path, but they started teaching, means they are Jivan Mukta from the beginning only.
who are you talking about?
Jnaneshwar, Muktai, because they suffered a lot, but they were Gnani.
Not only that, there is this Vyavasayatmika Buddhi and sustained, you know, Eka Bhakti. And if you have that, you know, it'll give you grace. That's what gives you. Without waywardliness of life will not give you any grace. So people who have, you know, received the graces, they have done something like this. They have shown a lot of devotion, committed to their, you know, path.
See, ultimately, what is grace? No doubt, grace has a role to play. Grace is the fructification of all your adrishta phala. The punya, all the punya that you've done has fructified as adrishta phala, and that is showing up as grace. Grace is something that you receive much beyond what you deserve to have received. And for that thing you should have received so much, but you receive so much more than what unexpectedly, like it's a downfall. So the element of grace ultimately again is our own blueprint. We are thinking that it's grace, but actually, even for that grace to happen, why doesn't everybody have grace? Not everybody has grace, right? Will a terrorist have grace? Of course, if he has done some maybe good karma sometime in some life, like what happened to Valmiki and Kali Dasa and all of them, there will be some a turning point in their lives. But even that grace is a fructification of our own. So basically, what it is it is our blueprint that we are laying down. If we are pursuing the Gita, study of the Gita, and that Shastra Kripa comes, it is because we are pursuing it. Whatever comes. So that is where the element of prayer is. See, free will, yes, you do it, take a decision to do, and you continue doing, being determined, yes. But sometimes you've done everything, and even that prayer, isn't it born out of free will? And the result of the prayer is what we call grace, is that unknown factor, is nothing but adrishta phala. And who is the author of that adrishta phala? Who has initiated that adrishta phala?
Jiva
The
with karma
jiva.
buddhi.
Correct. Jiva only, right? See, a jnani does not require grace. Jnani is grace personified. It is a jiva that requires. And a mumukshu on this path, that is why dhriti is important. Commitment is important. Doing what is to be done. Nitya karma is important. That is why the Shastra has mentioned Nitya Naimittika karmas have to be done. That's why Krishna says, Yajna dana tapah karma na tyajet. So we cannot say, I will not do karma. In that karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalahetur bhuhu ma te sangostva akarmani. Don't be attached to akarma. Don't be attached to inaction. The jnani and karma. Given this understanding, then can a jnani be defined in terms of whether or not he or she performs karma? It all depends on the person's prarabdha. Based on his or her prarabdha, the jnani has to undergo certain experiences. This is why you will find varieties of jnanis. They may be grahastas, married people with children. They may also be doing business or ruling a country like King Janaka. A jnani can be doing anything or give up everything and take to the life of sannyasa. As long as a jnani is a grahastha and there are karmas to be done, he cannot simply say, I am a jnani and avoid what he has to do. He has to continue to do the rituals that grahasthas are enjoined to do. But even though the jnani performs these rituals, it is not karma because the person knows the Atma to be akarta. At the same time, a jnani does not want to set a wrong example for the people. And so, as a grahastha, he or she will perform karma. That's what Krishna says, no? He says, I don't have anything in this world to do, nothing to accomplish, but yet I continue to do. Why? To set a correct example. Nor does the person lose anything by doing it. Why? Because he is a kritsna karma krit. He has done all that has to be done. It's only exhausting the prarabdha that he's doing these, whatever roles he's playing. As a jnani, performing action is not a problem. For the jnani, there is no karma or sankalpa in action. He or she does not say, I am going to accomplish this so that I can be that. So he does actions purely because he has to fulfill doing those actions according to the prarabdha. He is not doing it for getting something. Therefore, the person may do anything. He or she may act out the drama, play the role, and play it well. Or the person may see the drama and its roles as useless. Naturally so, because there is uselessness there, and take to sannyasa. Even as a sannyasi, the person may or may not do karma. He or she may not teach. The sannyasi may be a Mauni Baba and not teach, or he or she may teach. If a sannyasi teaches, the teaching may be done in a simple manner or in a highly organized manner. Ramana Maharshi taught in a very simple manner. He would just ask back a question, who am I? Ask yourself this. Or it could be in an organized manner. It all depends upon the prarabdha of the sannyasi. All those sannyasis who've taken sannyasa as a lifestyle for the sake of gaining the knowledge have only one role to play. So we're talking here about the Vividisha sannyasa, the sannyasi who's yet to gain knowledge. He's still not become a Jivan Mukta. They are completely freed from all obligations except those attached to their role as a student. Then, when a mumukshu gains jnana, he or she will continue to live a life of sannyasa. Atma is one and the same, but because of prarabdha, there are many kinds of jnanis, more of which we shall see in the next few verses. So, although jnana is one, Atma is one, there are different types of jnanis, different lifestyles of jnanis. Can be a grahastha, can be a vaishya, can be a kshatriya, can be a sannyasi. Shall we do Manana before we go to the next verse?
I have one question for
Yeah.
Jnani or Jivan Mukta. There will be for Jivan Mukta, if he does any good work for the society, and whatever the results are, so he will get Papa Punya out of it again because he
No.
has nothing to do. Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's doing in the space of means nothing has to done by him now, like
Correct.
that space.
Correct.
So even if peoples are getting benefit out of that, whatever he is doing, so people are getting benefit. So it's something positive for him also because
Correct. But where we have said karma phala is for whom? Is for whom? It is only for the karta.
karta.
But where is the space the jnani is coming from? He is coming from karta.
Karta.
So the jnanagni dagda bija. His karma, his account is closed now. So where the account is closed, where will this punya go? He does not have any more punya papa. He
So
may
he
be
will not get
active.
also Janma again that he will not get the lives means future lives
Right.
also.
Right.
Because
But
no
what
prarabdha.
correct. But what Tattva Bodh tells us, the agami karma of a jnani, when he does, like punya, like what you just now said, he does some work which brings benefit to other people. So in our understanding, there is punya there, right?
Correct.
So that punya goes to those people who
All
revere him,
devotees.
his devotees. See, and isn't that what is sakshat for us? See, when you are in the presence of a guru who's a jnani, what are those 5 things that just happen without your effort? Samriddhi happens. Jnana dawns. Jnana in the sense, your awareness, not like this purna jnana.
Talent.
Happiness wells up. So we've not done anything. We've just been in that presence of the master. Jnana vriddhi. You're happy for no reason. Dukkha kshaya, your misery drops. That is what
Creativity.
everybody experiences, no? When we go to Gurudev, they say we were just happy there. You may have had a lot of misgivings in the past and gone with all that head load, but the moment you are in the presence of the master, this vanishes. This is a direct experience of the punya that he's doing is translating onto the devotees. He will not. He is irrespective. He is in that bliss, unlimited bliss, unbounded bliss. Anybody else wants to share anything?
That contentment, feeling of abundance
Yeah.
in his presence.
Joy for no reason, you know.
I had this funny question, and it's not completely answered. Uh, is well, Jnani has a given number of devotees that are following him. How much does each devotee get? How is that division? Crazy question, but it did appear, and it just came to my awareness again.
Gurudev also
It
said
is
patrata. Patrata.
patrata, correct. It depends on the patrata.
Yeah,
Very,
and intensity of the faith you have.
yeah, correct.
In Bhagavad Shankaracharya's devotees also,
Mm.
Padmapada, I mean, he had so much faith, even Totakacharya ji.
Rotakacharya. I was just
Yeah,
thinking about that, Bela. I was just thinking of Rotakacharya. He was such
yeah.
a simpleton.
Hmm.
It's interesting. It's intertwined with concepts and intrigue. The unknown factor is there. And that is what I think that last time there was this thing, Gurudev's reel on someone asked, we can ask, but how do we ask questions about that which is not known, that agyat, that thing? And he said, that is the beauty, that uncertainty, that of the unknown. And then he said, when the knowledge, known, and the object of knowledge come together, that triputi, that is the Atma. Unfortunately, our identity is so much with Anatma, we're not able to look at the truth. But with this concept, with the concept that Vedanta has given us, of that beautiful, the 6 shlokas of Nirvana Shatakam, that Mano Buddhya Hankara Chittani Naham. I am not this, I am not this, that Neti Neti. And then with the grace, again, which is nothing but that Adrishta Phala. And when the seat, the seat of contemplation is clean, pure, and nischala, then with that grace, this knowledge will dawn. And for that, one very important prerequisite is Shraddha. So those 4 pillars of knowledge are not just given like that, no? Viveka, Vairagya. Viveka is required for our free will, to exercise the free will correctly, discern. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Vairagya will let the hold of passion settle down. The run of the senses going towards the world of objects. Vairagya is required for us to hold the reins of those senses. And then Shamadhi Shat Sampatti. And then Mumukshutva. All 4 are required. No wonder they're named 4 pillars of knowledge. Yeah. So we'll stop here today. We'll take up verse 20 from tomorrow. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्मा निर्गुणं निश्चलं निर्विकारम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्मा अत्र वेदान्तमेव प्रमाणम् बोधक सद्गुरु तत्त्वनिष्ठः ईश्वरानुगृहीतेन वेद्यम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म ज्ञानगम्यं तुरीयं हृदि स्थम् आत्मरूपं हि तत् येन ज्ञातम् सोऽध्वनः पारमाप्नोति सत्यम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म ब्रह्मज्ञस्य तु ब्रह्मैव सर्वम् नास्ति मोहो भयं नैव दुःखम् तस्य स्वानन्दमग्नं हि चित्तम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म निर्गुणं निश्चलं निर्विकारम् एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म एकमेवाद्वितीयं ये ब्रह्म ब्रह्मैव सत्यम्